All right, all right. Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Glad to have you here. This is Coach Hamilton, um, the Coaches Sanctuary. Here we have doing the Coaches Huddle today, and we're going to just keep on building this thing week by week and adding value to our coaches and leaders in anything that you're involved in. Definitely, these concepts are applicable for anybody in the leadership role, but specifically us coaches. This is an opportunity for me to share almost 2 decades of my experiences and the things that I've done in the course of my career to help fellow peers in our profession. And I'll start by making acknowledgments about the video I made the other night about the gentleman that was killed the other night. We definitely are sending prayers up for his family, and even more so his children. His 9-year-old son witnessed what took place, and we definitely want to take a moment to send condolences and prayers to that young man's family before we get started. So we're just going to jump right in. We're going to get right into it. Do a revision of last week. We first off talked about our vision and our plan of action. So just a reminder that as we're building this today, we're going to focus on setting our foundation and developing our philosophy. So in order to develop our philosophy, that's going to start, of course, with our vision. We talked about last week. Let's define, who I am as a coach. What is success to me? What kind of coach do I want to be? What are the expectations of my players? And then define where I want to go with the goals and objectives that we have. So we want to remember that we're building vision. What do we want it to look like? Okay. What do we want people to think about when they see your program on the docket? You're going to a tournament. What are they going to know to expect? How y'all dress, how you look, how you play, the attitude of you guys, how y'all handle different situations. That is something that you have to say to yourself as a coach and as a leader. This is what I expect for you all to do. And what we want to do is make sure that we are very, very clear on how we view our program. Okay. So we're going to go to the next phase. Today, we're talking about our program philosophy. Our program philosophy. Okay. And with that, we got to definitely understand what is a philosophy. And what I looked at, I just looked at some definitions I like to look up because I love words. I love understanding where words, where they come from and what they mean. And one of the definitions that I found when you talk about a philosophy as a coach, it is the love of wisdom. It's the love of wisdom. Okay. And just to keep that very simple, and all wisdom is applied knowledge. It's information that we have learned, information that we've gathered over time, and then taking it and then applying it, to the situation that we're in or what we're trying to be focused on. So right now with this, your program philosophy, okay, what is it? What knowledge or information, which should be your vision and your plan of action? Now, how are we going to walk that out? How are we going to take that thing and we're going to walk it out so people know exactly what it is, what your program is supposed to look like? So let's jump right into it. All right. We'll go to the first bullet. And, it is develop a strong self image and sense of pride and respect among players, staff, and school. Okay. Number one, develop strong self image, okay, and sense of pride and respect among players, staff, and school. All right. So what does that look like? All right. What does it look like? Well, first, when you want to do that, develop a strong image and self-image and sense of pride and respect among the players, staff, and school. Okay, that's going to look like being poised and confident through total preparation. So what that means is when you're doing is that every single thing that you do, you don't question whether you believe this is going to work for your program or not. That starts with the coach. That starts with us. We have to be poised, okay, and we have to be able to slow down and be able to articulate on a day-to-day basis and be confident through our preparation process. Okay, so that means when I'm sitting down making my practice plans, when I'm setting up my preseason workouts, my in-season workouts, our fundraisers, our community service, all those different things. I have to be confident All of these things are preparing us, okay, in order to make sure that we're developing a strong self-image and a sense of pride, respect amongst each other. That's number one, because if you're all over the place as the leader and you can't articulate who you are as a coach and what you envision your program, it's easy to say, well, we want to win state championships. Okay. How? What steps are you taking? What do you believe every single day? What is it, how you're preparing? What are you teaching your kids? What are the things that you're focused on a day-to-day basis? Because when you do that, okay, and you know exactly what, and you're confident, and your players are going to feel your confidence. Your players are going to feel your preparation. So if you come in and you off the top of your head, you just making up stuff as you go along, then guess what? Now there's a break. There's schism there, okay? And the vision you say that you had, then now you're not getting there effectively, okay? So poise, confidence through total preparation. That's on us. Another way to develop strong self-image and pride and respect amongst each other is close relationships with each player. Now, mind you, I know it is tough to take the time to get a chance to know all of your players. It is. It is tough. Personally, that's why I like small numbers. I don't like having a lot of players. I don't, which makes it tougher on me to choose, who I'm going to pick on my teams. So the things for me is what I'm looking at. I'm not just looking at talent. I'm looking at character. Because remember, we lie sometimes when we say, well, sports develop character. Nah. First, it reveals your character. And then after it reveals, then you can develop. Because when after I know how you handle a blowout game, after I know how you handle a tough game, after I know how you handle tough conditioning, after I know how you handle going to class on a day-to-day basis, doing what you're supposed to do or not, then that reveals to me the character. So I need to find a way to speak to each player. Now, in football, man, that's close to impossible. I coached football a couple of years, and it was a tough experience, and it made me have a much more, a bigger respect, for those that are in that sport specifically, because it can get anywhere to 100, 130 kids. And so that means you got to have all of your coaches on the same page and understanding what your philosophy is. And then each position coach has to take time to make sure they're knowing who they're playing with, who they're coaching. Okay. So do everything you can to build close relationships. What I do is I pull my kids in at the beginning of the school year and I sit down with them the first couple of days. And this year we're a little slow on the process. I'm actually at home with my son right now. He's 6, so I'm missing out on a few days of school. But what it is I try to do is just ask them, what are your goals outside of basketball? That is what I want to know. That is how I build my close relationships, because I want to know what makes you tick. Why are you here every single day? Why are you saying that you want to be a basketball player and you want to come in here and be fussed at and drilled and all these different things? You want to do all this stuff every single day. Why? Okay. What are you trying to accomplish without the game of basketball? That's my concern. Okay. And that's how I build relationships with my guys, based on what I understand about them without the game. What do you do for fun? Where do you go? Who do you hang out with? Those different types of things. And that can be a 5-minute conversation. And it can get long, just depends on what kind of answers you get. Okay. Another way to develop a strong self-image and sense of pride and respect is also a dress code. Okay. So every school usually has dress codes. Okay. So you want to have a dress code at school, practice, on the road, and to games. Okay. Why? How is this helping me develop my philosophy? Because you want them to understand, there's a saying, if you look good, you play good. Okay. So for me, we try to follow, let me say, not say try, we follow the school policy to a T. I mean, every single thing, even the earbud situation, we are, the type of shirts we wear, what you wearing, all those different types of things. That's me. I'm on top of that with my guys. And when they try to pass by those lines, we deal with it. Okay. We deal with it. And before it gets to a form of punishment, there's going to be a couple of conversations, because I'm not just going to harp on the dress code. What I'm doing is telling you to understand that if you're a rebel, when there's something put in place, I can't coach you. See, that's a part of my philosophy in understanding that I want high character guys, or help to develop guys to understand what those character traits are. Okay. So even at practice, how we dress, what we wear. Okay. On the road, for me, I don't allow my guys just for the sake of uniformity, we don't wear jewelry when we travel together. Okay. And that's us. When we go inside of buildings, we take our headbuds off. Okay. And those are things that I choose to do. Okay. But all those different things are not to take away fun, but ultimately it's for you want to see who's really bought in. That's a part of the philosophy that I have developed over time, is that I want to see if guys can follow small, detailed instructions, because that helps me to understand who I can get focused on the court. Okay. All right. Also, in another way to develop strong self-image, sense of pride, is the things that we wear. If you can, I know it's tough to raise money sometimes, but when you do make that money, you want to make sure that you purchase things like shirts and shorts and bags and jackets and sweats with the school logo on it or your team logo. Okay, that's another way to develop strong self-image. We carry great pride in our logo and what we wear. Everybody can't wear that. Okay, what we order, but then we also sell our logo, but they have different style clothes than we do. So we make sure that nobody on the campus or in the community wears what we wear, okay? Because that's another way to develop strong self-image and a sense of pride and respect, okay? By having those things, okay? I know these things might seem small, but they're very, very important in building a foundation on how you want people to view your program and the respect that you want people to have for you, okay? All right. Players take responsibility in promoting the program. That's the next thing. Okay. Players take responsibility. So I always share with the guys that on the social media pages to make sure that they are sharing our social media pages. We do have Airline B-Ball. That is our Twitter handle, Instagram, and Facebook. And so we ask our guys, man, when you get opportunities, make sure you share our page. When we share things out there, make sure you're taking that responsibility. Okay. And these are small, minute conversations that what you're doing is you're slowly, because we're a brand. When you're a coach, you're a brand. Okay. Everybody knows I love to wear Adidas. I'm in year 18 now. And they know when airlines coming, or when I was at Southwood or Falport, they know when Coach Hamilton's coming. We got Adidas bags, Adidas shirts, Adidas shoes, Adidas socks. We Adidas everything. That's just what we choose to do. My logo has been the same my entire career. Okay. I have a certain look with my logo. I've just transferred it to each job. It's just something I fell in love with years ago, and it's synonymous with Coach Hamilton. It's just something I've chosen to do. Okay. Hallway happiness is our next thing. Players and staff greet each other in the hall. I tell my guys, show love. Every time you see each other, give each other a dap, pat each other on the back, say what's up, how's class going, or we're in the gym when we're working out in the weight room. It's always between every exercise that we do or workout routine we do, is always pat them on the back. What's up, man? Good job. Way to work. It's constantly getting guys to understand, showing love to each other, and getting them to understand how important communication is. Because those of you who had an opportunity to do this for a while, you understand there's a lot of communication that takes place verbally and non-verbally. So I always tell my guys, listen with your eyes. So when they're talking to each other, put your phone up and look each other eyeball to eyeball, okay? And make sure that any opportunity you get, I don't care if you see the same person 22 times that day, always show love. And what you're doing is that's that strong self-image. Okay. You see at the bottom of the screen, sense of pride and respect amongst players, staff, and school. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're constantly doing that. And it's not nothing you should have to harp on all the time. It's just a tone that you want to set. Remember, philosophy, that's a love, that's wisdom, that's knowledge and action. So we give you the information and then you utilize it. Okay. Next, our games. Another way to develop strong self-image. Our games are an event. Okay. That's music, band, pep squads, contests. I will say one of the things I love about high school sports is when you get the pep bands in the gym. I like to have the band in instead of a DJ, and that's okay. So some have to do the DJ. And I have used a DJ a few times, but ultimately I like to have the band, because what they do is they bring in a lot of noise, all right, a lot of energy, okay? And I know it is a sacrifice sometimes of dollars. It is, okay? Call it what it is. But ultimately, having your gym to have an energy, or having your football field or your baseball field, having an energy there is something that you want to take great pride in, okay? And self-image. So having your pep squads and cheerleaders, and allowing the dance lines to perform at halftime, and then also another thing is within the community, You know, inviting your elementary schools, your middle schools to come out and let their dance lines and pep squad. All of these things are a part of developing strong self-image in the community of your school. Okay. And then also faculty, staff, and alumni involvement. Now, some schools have a group of alumni that you have to ask them anything. Some schools, you have to develop those relationships. All right. Even me, I can admit, I'm still getting to know a lot of people in my community now that I am. Okay. Because I got my job in the middle of COVID. So it is a thing that I have to be intentional on and asking whose hand can I shake? Who can I meet? During my planning period, I walk around the school and I'll go meet the teachers because we have a large campus. So what I'll do is I just go pop my head in some classes, and just, speak, see how you're doing, just getting people to know who I am and know who they are, and it's not necessarily that you're just trying to gotta be buddy friends with everybody, but ultimately it's just getting them to know who you are, okay? And then getting them interested, okay? Also, I email our schedules out and our games, individual games, and our scores to our teachers. So when we get back to school, I sit down and I'll send out the emails. Okay. I also send out the social media, just let people know where we're playing, what time we're playing, and then after the games, the results of the game, win or loss. Okay, win or loss. And when we lose, there are no excuses. We just put the score down and keep on rocking. All right. So that's number one, developing strong self-image in developing your philosophy. Okay. So strong self-image and a sense of pride is very, very important. Okay. So our second thing that we want to focus on, okay, is our accomplishments. All right. And what we're saying with that is that we need to have clear-cut goals on what it is that we're trying to do on the court. Okay. So the other things were a little bit off the court, but you do want to make sure that people understand on the court what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And you cannot be afraid to tell people and articulate what it is that you want to accomplish on the court. You cannot be afraid. You can't look at your team and look at how much talent you have or don't have and then determine how you're going to. You cannot be afraid to let them know what it is you're trying to do. If it's, hey, man, we just want to get 10 plus games this year. Okay. Or, hey, we want to get 20 plus games. We want to win district. Okay. We got to make sure that we're not afraid to articulate those and that people know exactly what it is you're trying to accomplish as a coach. Okay. We don't want to just show up and, well, let's just see what it's going to be. No, 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 no. Be confident. Okay. So goals attained by performance for each position. So for us, we actually during games, now I'm talking about the game. So I'm in basketball is what I do, is that we actually have goals that we have set about how many rebounds we want to get, how many offensive rebounds that we'll allow, the minimum amount of turnovers or the maximum number that we don't want to go over in a game. We talk about those. We also talk about our free throw attempts, how many attempts we want to get per game, and how many we want to allow our opponents to get. Those things, guys, are things that it develops the philosophy of the team. Our guys understand what number we want to stay under when it comes to turnovers. Our guys understand our goal when it comes down to free throw attempts that we want to get per game. We understand those things, and what we're doing is that's a part of the philosophy. That's a part of the knowledge and action. Okay. Do you want to compete for a state championship, or are you just trying to win a few games? Or do you believe you're going to be a district champion? You want to be one of the most respected teams in your geographical area. And one of those things is, guess what, guys? That's not record based, because there was a time in my career early on, even later on, we were struggling. People understood what kind of style of play that a Coach Hamilton led team was going to bring, and we showed up that way every night. Sometimes the opponent had a little more talent that we couldn't overcome, but we were respected by our style. We know people know my teams are going to defend and we're going to block out. We know that. That's something that we're going to do. Even early in the season, we struggle sometimes early, but before the season's over, people understand we're going to defend, we're going to block out. We're going to make your positions as hellish as we possibly can. Okay, that's something that is respected by the style of play that I bring. Also, when you have rivalries, okay, you want to make sure that those games, you want to win those games. Everybody that understands, football season coming up, and I'm a 49er fan. All right. So, there are games that are rivalry games. For us in the NFC West, we got to beat the Rams, got to beat the Seahawks, those games. So for us here locally, we have games that is considered rival games. I'm still new to Bossier Parish, been there for 2 years. And there are things that we have. There are certain games here in both. It's just you better win those games. Okay. So we got to make sure that as you're developing the philosophy of the team, we know that when it's time to play certain rivals, we make sure we show up for that game. Okay. Make sure you recognize your players for as much as you can on and off the court. Okay. Anything that they do, you want to celebrate. You want to find ways to get it out on social media, to get it out on the campus, to let people know that, hey, such and such from my basketball team was an honor student of the week or student of the day or something like that, or the National Honor Society or honor roll, whatever those things are, the accomplishments on the field of court. You want to make sure that you are celebrating those things, okay, those accomplishments, all right? And those accomplishments are a direct result of our daily efforts, all right? We want to make sure that you're not skipping steps. Well, I want to win district, but then you don't focus on all the details during the course of a year to improve, all right? All right, the last section that we want to focus on for the night is promoting your program. Y'all see it at the bottom of the screen there, okay? Promoting your program and the school, okay? So in developing our philosophy, all right, you want to make sure that, hey, we're developing strong self-image, sense of pride and respect. We want to know what our accomplishments are that we're going after. And then also we want to promote the program and the school. It's very, very important that we do that. Now, it's different ways to do that, okay? There's there's a whole host of ways. I'm sure there are guys out there doing things that I don't do, and there are things that that I do that they don't do. But one of the things you want to do is a close working relationship with media. Okay, find out who your newspaper guys is. Now, I'll tell you, sometimes it's funny. Sometimes guys get a little upset with the media guys. If they don't get enough coverage, or But the thing about it is, the people here locally, they'll tell you that I send them everything. I send them everything. Okay. And sometimes, of course, there are other games and other programs that might be a little more popular. But guess what? There was a time where my team was one of the most popular, and we're looking at being popular again this year. So, but ultimately, you want to have a close working relationship. This has nothing to do with feelings, anything like this. Has everything to do with your players having an opportunity to be seen and noticed. Okay, with your stats, with interviews. Okay, with accomplishments, all those different things, big time games that are going to happen. You want to make sure that everybody that's and let me tell you something, not just the traditional media outlets, these social media folks, right now, Draymond Green calls it the new media. So, I mean, there are people on social media who have big followings. And if you can follow after them, then make sure that you reach out to them and build a relationship with them. All right. And like I said, it's business. It's what it is. You want people to come to your games and you want your children to enjoy their experience and be able to look at the paper sometimes and see what the scores are and see that, who we won against and, who did what for that night. So make sure that you make that effort. Okay. And if you have a coaching staff, if you have more than 2 or 3 guys helping you out, and assign those things, okay, to them. You don't have to do everything as the head coach. You can assign them, okay? Share it with somebody. Let them know what it is that you're hoping to do and how you want to communicate with the media outlets, okay? And if possible, if you have the resources to do so, media guides, programs, okay? If you're able to do that, I know in my sport of basketball, it's a little more difficult to have a media guide every game at the high school level with limited resources. I know football, and sometimes it's a little easier to do that because there's one game a week, okay? But if you have any type of way of getting your rosters out, okay, or the game that's coming up and letting people know who we're playing and what their record is, what your record is, if you can do that, okay? Next, another way to promote the program or school is to be active in the community, all right? And that's different ways. We at our school, it's a large school and there are so many different clubs. So I just encourage our guys to find at least one other thing outside of basketball, okay, that you can do and get them to be involved in, so you can be involved in some community activities, okay? I will tell you, like somebody like myself who's involved heavily in my church, and I told y'all one of my number one things is making sure I'm present at home. There are things that we will do together. We'll go to a college game. Sometimes we might go watch another high school game together. Okay. When the middle school season starts, we go make appearances at our feeder schools. That's another way that we do. And now that COVID's dying off, we're going to try to open up some other things. Like I know some schools go and they read to the kindergartners, or they're involved in field days and different things like that. So for me, I've just been new and just getting acclimated and like I said, letting COVID protocols lift. And there are going to be some other things that we do. So I'm sure people have great ideas, things that I'm not aware of, out there. So most definitely, be able to share with people. All right, in the community. Okay, that's something that's really really big. All right, next thing is you have summer camps and team camps. All right. I know at our school, Coach Lindsay McConaughey on our girls program, shout out to Coach McConaughey. She has a big summer camp that's hosted at Airline. So I don't host that, but she does. And it is, even though, she's the girls basketball coach, is something she's been doing for a while. And the entire community knows that Airline is going to host a summer camp for our babies in the community. All right. So she's done an excellent job with that. And she has her players working that. Okay. So if you're able to do that, it's also a good fundraiser as well. To get what you're doing is you're getting the up and coming children with that mindset and attitude of coming and being a part of your program when they make it to high school. All right. Another way to promote the program and the school, clinics involving our entire staff of coaches or players. Also, I put videos. I know in this day and time, early in my career, I went to a lot of clinics. I traveled. My wife will tell you, before my son got here, I would get in that car and I would drive and I would go to any clinic I could. Sometimes I would just go visit other coaches and sit down with them for a day and watch their practice and learn some things. Okay. But at the same time, what I was doing was actually a promotion of our program in school too. Because what you're doing is when you go to those clinics, you wear your team shirt, you wear your team clothes, and you're going in, and it's a way to shake hands and meet and network with other coaches, and also give yourself to open up the line to compete with others as well. Okay. All right. Local youth leagues. We have Bossier Parks and Recreations. We have YMCA. You want to make sure that when you get opportunity, go to those games. Just put on your school shirt, on your team shirt, and go be visible. Okay. Or you can use your facility as a host. All right. So people can be familiar with your campus and with your gym, with your football field, baseball field. All right. So you want to be involved. That's a part of promoting the program. And guys, you don't have to go to everything. Okay. I try to go to one event in everything, and we have so much going on our campus. It is tough to do, but I try to go to one activity for everything. I still hadn't gotten to everything in airline yet. There's stuff I hadn't even heard of that I want to get, that I need to go check out, but I am intentionally going to do that. All right. If you could do alumni games, I know Coach Reggie D at Airline volleyball coach. She does alumni game with volleyball, us with basketball. We're going to open up and do some things, whether it's a full 5-on-5 game or a 3-on-3 tournament. These are ways to promote the program. Okay, 7-on-7 football, whether it's a golf tournament, whatever it is you can do, man, kickball, just something to get people on the campus and make them aware of your program. All right. And then lastly, what you want to do to promote the program is help as many players as possible reach the next level. Now, not just at the sport, not just at the sport, because the bottom line is 1% of high school athletes, well, 2% of high school athletes make it to college on scholarship. So you want to help as many of those be the kids that you want to get in that to the next level in sports. But also the next thing is, for me, the most important thing is getting to the next level in life. Okay, making sure that they understand what it is that it takes to function as a young adult. Okay, and establish themselves. All right. So you want your program to be noted as a program that, hey, if you come here, you're going to be ready for the next level. Whether that's you just going to school to get a career, whether it's going to play sports, whether it's going to military, whatever that thing is. If you get an internship somewhere, I don't care if it's going to the oil field, whatever it is, construction, it's still a promotion of the program of having players to graduate and move on, and they are finishing their goals. Okay. So that's very, very important. So for today, again, a little recap. Program philosophy, developing your philosophy. Number one, okay? Number one, you want to make sure that you develop strong self-image and sense of pride and respect among your players, staff, and school. All right. That is very intentional. That does not happen by accident. Okay. Number two, your accomplishments. Make them clear. They understand that everything that you do every single day is going to get us to these goals. So it's very, very important. You cannot be afraid to keep that in the forefront. Okay. Anybody you come in contact needs to understand what are you trying to do every single day to get to that. And number three, the last thing to develop your philosophy is promote the program and the school. Promote it. You want to make sure that people understand who your program is and what your program represents. All right. Right now for me, I tell y'all, one of my pet peeves, I hate it when administration will say, hey man, coach, one of your basketball players did such and such. Oh, you want to make me upset? You can. That's one of those things because a part of my philosophy, that's my team. Nobody's getting in trouble. You're not getting in trouble because if you are going out and getting in trouble and acting fool in class, that means you don't want to play. It's not my job to bend so you can play a game. It's your job to straighten up, okay, so that we can win at a high level with your talent, okay? So promote the program and the school, all right? So like I said, I want to go in here. Of course, I'm looking at the chat, making sure I didn't miss the thing. I see somebody putting Nike and got some funny stuff over here, boy, I tell you. But anyway, look, I appreciate y'all for coming in this evening. One of the things that I don't want to do is stay on too long, but I do want to come on and add value. Hopefully something was said to my fellow coaches out there. We're still early right now. We're getting ready, working hard, lifting weights, fundraising, conditioning, trying to go ahead and get your system in on both sides of the ball. So I definitely hope the best for you all, except when we play against each other. All right. Wherever you're listening, respect the game, respect each other. And remember, it's a game. All right. It's a game played by children. All right. It's a game played by children. And what I want to do is adding value to other coaches like myself is getting us to understand what it takes off the court in order to win on the court. Okay. Believe me, I built my career on beating teams who had more talent because we had more character. Okay. So that's one of those things that I want to make sure that we're building. Off the court success leads to on the court success. Do not sacrifice character for talent. Do not do that. Do not sacrifice character for talent. Please, 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 coaches, spend this year developing the character of your players because they want the discipline. They do want it. No matter how they act, how they rebel. I don't worry about people transferring or leaving or anything like that because I love you so much that I want you to do the right thing for you, not for me. Because I'm gonna be a coach when you leave, but are you still gonna be a basketball player? So that's the thing that my job is to make sure that that um that you're prepared for life off the court because I'll figure out how to win games. All right. So love you all. Have a restful evening. Look, if you want to hit me up and direct message me, feel free. If you look there to the top left of my head, those are my social media outlets there that we're streaming. You can send me a direct message. Love to talk, add value, and also I'm open to learn as well. So I appreciate you. Have a restful evening. You take care of yourself.